Absolutely. Now, Pete, had you been attending this in the past with the Greater Florence Chamber of Commerce?
I attended this 5 years ago as
Right.
part of the leadership. I thought
Leadership PD or Leadership Florence?
Leadership Florence, and
Right.
I got very involved. And the next year they were looking for someone to be involved, and I kind of have been taking it over for the last 4 years. I enjoy it. It's
I
fun.
remember you'd sent a guest down a few years ago. We filmed at the Herald's offices there on the Air Force Base. This gentleman was with a Anderson Brothers Bank there in
Right.
Florence, I believe. His name's slipping me now.
Randy Altman.
Randy Altman, yes.
And he
was
is
a
still,
great guest.
He
Is
still serves on the committee with us. Our whole committee has basically not changed in the last 4 years.
Is that right?
The same group has always been involved. John Turner, Randy,
Right.
Kelly Slice, they've all been tremendously involved, and they really enjoy
Well,
it.
Scotty Davis was very knowledgeable. Of course, I think he heads up the Small Business and Minority Division
Right.
for the Greater Florence Chamber of Commerce, and very active there in the city, and surely knowledgeable with a lot of activities going on with the Chamber of Commerce. Building bridges, is this a program specific to the Greater Florence Chamber of Commerce? Or
Right
is it...
now, it's been, other cities have done it, but Florence has really taken into it and,
Oh, yeah.
and has really expanded on it.
Now, if a viewer can attend today at 4 o'clock,
That's correct.
if they're available next Monday for the wrap-up session on March 3rd, what are they going to see there? Is that a broad overview on all of the past 5 sessions, just touching it, or
Very
something
much
else?
a broad interview. It's open to what everybody thought about the sessions. They
Good.
can do a recap, what they thought was positive, what they thought was that they wanted to change. They also talk about what was the benefit they got out of each of the sessions.
Sure, sure.
And then we also give out our Community Service Award. And all the participants who have participated in the past vote for somebody who's given the most to the community and community service.
Great.
So we'll be tabulating them after today's session.
Okay.
And next week we'll present the Community Service Award to some person in Florence who's done a lot to make Florence more better around, not
Sure.
just in business-wise,
Right.
but public service, anything to help the community be more
Oh, yeah.
situations.
Let's talk a little about yourself, Pete. What brought you to the PD area, and how long have you been in the area? As a matter of fact, I Googled you this morning. I hate to say Google, but it was fascinating to see there were about 500,000 results, and you were the top 10, you individually. There's must not be a lot of Pete Sielers out there. But,
I don't think there's that many Pete
It was
Sieler.
very exciting to see all those links, a lot of weekly newspapers that you write for around the country.
Well, I was working in California for your dad.
Oh, my God, put me on the spot there,
Right,
Pete.
yes.
You were running the TV stations in
Right.
Southern California. That's right, in Palm Springs
Palm
and
Springs,
El
El
Centro.
Centro Pacific Media Corporation, and you had started your station in Myrtle Beach.
Right, yeah.
And I used the word, it was the greatest con there ever was.
Oh, did I con you, Pete?
You conned me. How nice it was in Myrtle Beach. Got to come out.
It is very nice
it's
here.
very
You
nice.
drove down early this morning to be on air at 7 a.m. in Myrtle's Inlet.
So you had enticed me to move east.
That's right.
And
Yeah.
I became sales manager for WFXB in 1999.
That's right.
And
That's
I've
right.
still been with them.
You've been with WFXB since 1999. That's
February
amazing.
25th is when I moved into town.
Wow, Pete, that's amazing.
So it's amazing.
February 25th.
Right.
Lord, is that today?
That's today.
That's
the day.
incredible. This is your 9-year anniversary. On the
9 years,
East Coast.
starting the 10th year.
That's amazing, Pete. Forgive me. We've got later this week, I think Don Swartz is going to be with us on Wednesday. The exciting aspect there, it's a year to the day from when they kicked off their printing press there at the Florence News Journal, producing the 3 publications, or maybe even more publications out of that. He'll be with us on Wednesday. And, of course, later this week, Ed Piotrowski, the meteorologist from WPD, who also does the weather piece for the Myrtle Beach Herald, will be with us on Thursday. And Irvin Blueprint Parker will be with us on Friday, which should be very interesting. A fascinating lineup this week. We're thrilled, of course, to get you in. But now, what about you're also doing a piece now for the Myrtle Beach Herald, Pete. What prompted that, since you're living in the Florence area?
Greg and I one day, as you did, talked about maybe doing a column. And
Right.
there's one thing that I know good about. It's television.
Oh, yeah.
Been television in my life, 51 and a half years, going on 52.
It's amazing.
And I enjoy writing the column, letting the people know, and I kind of do the column in 2 ways: what happened 50 years ago and what's happening now.
50 years ago, for viewers who haven't seen it, of course, they can go online to myrtlebeachherald.com or go to readtheherald.com and see you on all the other Heralds you write for. But on air, correct, is the name of the column?
On air is the column, and I love the column. I have fun doing it. I think it's a little nostalgia. It's a little fun, and it's like when you look at some of the program that was there, and I use the phrase, American Idol is not new.
American Idol is not new. You mean the concept?
The concept is not new. In fact, it started 60 years ago on another show, the same idea, and it was called Ted Mack's Amateur Hour.
Wow.
And it aired on ABC. And it was a big hit program. It was done by Applause Meter. And some of the big stars got their big start at that time.
Is that right?
And Margaret was
one.
Margaret? And Margaret was one. In fact,
on a show that's similar, or very similar to American Idol today. I didn't know that.
Steve Lawrence, who eventually became a singer and also did a summer show for the old Steve Allen Show, got a start in the old Ted Mack Amateur Hour. And so 60 years ago, this last January is when Ted Mack, now you have American Idol Now, which is a phenomenal show.
Yeah,
it does
great
good.
for the network. Great for the Fox network.
Great for the Fox, but it's good to see something where it puts families together.
Right.
That's a program where families watch.
That's
not
a great
just
point.
One demo, it's the whole family watch. And it's the program that people talk about the next day at the water cooler.
You're exactly right. It's definitely a water cooler show.
Yeah, it's a water cooler
cell phone show and a texting show. I mean, it is very popular in all ages and all family settings.
The demos are there. And,
the demos are very
like
strong.
I said, I think television is a great business. I've been in it. I'd like to write about it, and I'd like to write about the history of it. It's interesting to see how much has changed in television from 50 years ago to now.
Well, the great thing, even though there are examples like that where American Idol had kicked off in a similar vein 60 years ago, they're not examples of your column that I can find anywhere in the country of someone who highlights 50 years ago and then today and really takes this comparison to another level. I think you've done a tremendous job with the column.
Well, I think because of the demographics of the area.
Surely the demographics of the Herald readership, yes.
More of the people have moved into the Grand Strand are from retirement community. They like to remember that. I get emails from people who like it and enjoy it and ask questions. So I think
you and Betty Moses with My Senior Moment, the two of y'all are covering not kidding, hitting all ages there. You know, the real focus, obviously, building bridges and building a better community today and tomorrow. And I think it's important, much like your column focused on the past and today, building bridges, clearly the need to focus on today and tomorrow. And that's why the gang session today is so important. So there really is a big problem with gangs, not only in the beach, not only here, not only in the PD, not only here in the beach, but all over.
It's a problem, and it's you need to understand where it comes from, how they get started, what are the telltale signs. You may not know that your son or daughter are involved in it, but they will even tell about what some of the clothes they wear, what colors they wear. Those are signs of that the clothes are and how they, let's say, wear a cuff on a pair of pants. That may determine from what gang they're from. So it's interesting. It's a great session to come. It's an eye-opener. It's a tremendous eye-opener. That's
tremendous, Pete. You know, as you think, the interaction between the group, you said it's been a little more engaging, I guess, based off of the panelists. Who will be the panelists today for viewers if they're going to show up there? And again, if they need to get off to work right now, we've just got a couple of minutes, but the location is?
The Pointer Adult Center. It's on West Palmetto, downtown Florence, right behind the First Baptist Church. It's about a block from the underpass. After you go through the underpass, it's on the left on the block.
Right.
And the representatives will be members from the Florence Police Department and Florence County Sheriff's Office will be handling the panels. They will give a presentation, which is about 15, 20 minutes, not long. Then they open it up for sessions, questions from this group. Then there's a breakout session. And you can attend the breakout sessions where they're actually more involvement between other members that are there. There's usually 25 in the group. They go around to talk about it, what they didn't realize was there, how to best look at it, how to confront it, what to work with. And those usually last about 45 minutes. And those are really interesting to watch when the people are talking amongst themselves, what
Right.
they didn't know, what they thought, what they really didn't understand about it.
And the breakout groups are of 5, 10, 15, 20?
Usually about 20 in a group.
Right,
And we
so
have
you've got-
we got 5 groups of 20, so
Okay.
that's 100. So we can always add 10 or 15 more and even 20 more to each group.
For our viewers here at the beach or in southeastern North Carolina who are going to drive into Florence for this session on gangs today, is there enough room? If they get up there,
yes.
will they be possibly turned away because of lack of room?
No, we have room. We have plenty of room.
Good. So you could have more than 100 folks there.
We can
for
have
instance,
more. We
today.
can add another 100.
Is that right? You can add another 100?
We can add another 100.
Well, that's a great incentive in and of itself, just to,
Right.
as you said, get in the car today at 2 to head on up, or for your viewers there. And I think as Scotty Davis from the Chamber had pointed out, they wanted to do it an hour early, an hour before the end of work, because they surely want the workplace to be involved, and also an hour after work, the normal 8 to 5 time period.
So, basically, we're looking for anyone from the age of 17 up.
Okay.
And to attend, because it's really strong and it's very powerful that you understand what the problems are in the community, so you can be part of the solution in the community, not just sit back.
As you reflect back on the last 4 sessions and really the last 5 years of your involvement in the Building Bridges program, Pete, what has meant the most to you? What has driven you to be the chairman of the group this year?
The involvement is one. The 2 is the most important. I see where people are becoming more and more involved. I can tell you that when the session was 5 years ago, there was maybe 60, 65 people.
Right.
Now it's up to 100.
Right.
And to make a commitment for 6 weeks in a row, 4 to 6, a lot of people don't want to make that strong commitment.
Right.
But that means when you got 100 coming, that's a strong commitment to attend to that.
Absolutely. Those are great words. Pete, thanks so much for being with us this morning.
Thank
Keep up the great work on your column and Building Bridges. Stay tuned to more Carolina People with Pete Sieler coming up next. The event, the Building Bridges Session 5, Juvenile Crime and Gangs, its impact on youth in the community. The place, 301 South Dargan Street, the Pointer Adult Center. Of course, the time is 4 to 6 p.m. It's a big day, and obviously the discussion, the focus is on juvenile crime and gangs and its impact on a community. It obviously takes a tremendous community like the Greater Florence Chamber of Commerce in its efforts to kick off a program like this 5+ years ago, and to get tremendous volunteers like Scotty Davis, and obviously we heard about Mr. Altman and Pete Sieler, folks that day in and day out are focused on making this a successful event each year as it kicks off. They've gone through 4 great sessions, the same every Monday from 4 to 6. They've got today's, and then next Monday. If you can't get out today from 4 to 6, get out there for the wrap-up session next Monday, March 3rd, from 4 to 6. Be a part of making a difference and obviously building a better today and tomorrow. Pete Sieler, thanks so much for being with us, Pete.